Okay, so Ansible is basically a language wherein it is a push model. So it's a configuration management. So it's really good for managing your servers, but not provisioning them. But you can also provision your servers, like you can provision your cloud EC2 instances using Ansible. But it's always advisable to use Ansible as a configuration management tool. So there are other configuration management tools also in market like Puppet, Chef, etc. But Ansible basically works on push model wherein we have a controller machine. That controller machine can be anything, so you don't need any specific requirement on that machine as such, and it's just an asynchronous call. So your server gives a call to your client or your node. Whether the state has reached successfully there or state there is equal to what you have written in your Ansible script is same, is not what is managed by a server one after your Ansible script is run. So uh, it's not, it just doesn't run as a server. What you do is you push your code there on your node. It is pushed successfully or not is what you're going to get a result out of your out of your Ansible playbook. But you cannot manage runtime as to what is currently there on your node is same as that in your Ansible playbook such. So it works on SSH, which is a simple concept. All you need is on your server you need Ansible installed. So Ansible gets installed with other modules, etc. So you need all those Ansible related modules there on your controller machine. On your remote machine you don't need any agent, etc. All you need there is an SSH connectivity and Python. That's it. So you need a Python interpreter there on your node machines where you are pushing your code, while on your controller machine all you need is Ansible installed on those machines and an SSH connectivity between them. So let's write our first Ansible playbook. It will be a simple playbook, so but I'll try and use all the best practices of Ansible so that from the start you get to learn what are the best practices and how we can write the best or design our Ansible playbook the best way. So let me share my screen. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
So this is where we are going to write our Ansible playbooks. So this is my Ansible directory wherein I'll be writing my first Ansible playbook. It will be a simple playbook to install Nginx on my Vagrant machine. Let me start my Vagrant. Let me test if my Vagrant is up now. So my Vagrant is getting up. What I'll do is just testing my connectivity, because we would need an SSH connectivity in case we are testing our Ansible playbook. So what I'll be doing is I'll be writing a simple Nginx installation script. So, and we'll be installing Nginx on this machine, but we'll be going one by one, step by step, so that you guys can have a clear idea of how to go about it. First thing we'll make in this directory is one more directory called roles, wherein we'll be putting all the roles in this. So that our code is modularized and that same role can be used multiple times for multiple set of machines and in multiple places. So let's write a role. After roles, so there is a specific format or a directory structure which Ansible follows. So it's always advisable to go about with the same structure. And tasks. So I'll spelling is wrong. Let me refactor this. I'm using an IDE just because Ansible understands YAML. So any extra space or a tab can give you certain issues while you are running your Ansible playbook. So always uh, like advisable to use an IDE in that case. So it's a little easier in that case when you're just started writing your Ansible playbook. So if you're a pro, then it's easy. But if you have just started writing your Ansible playbook, it's always advisable to use a IDE. Or you are very familiar with YAML and you have worked a lot with YAML, then you can go ahead and write it on your console as well. So this is our roles. So there is a specific folder called roles, and in roles we'll have one specific folder called the role name. So Nginx is my role name since I want to install and configure Nginx. Tasks are the specific tasks that you want to perform on the server. So the commands or the modules that you will be writing it in this tasks. So task, we'll be creating one specific file here that's called install.yaml, wherein we'll be writing our code to install Nginx. Name install Nginx. What we'll be using today is a package module. Why we use a package module, I'll tell you. So to know more about package module, let's go here. So Ansible has a very nice documentation of all its modules. So if you want to learn about a specific module, you can just go write that package name or a module name and write Ansible behind that. You will get all your help which you need. Now, why do you need this? This is a new, by the way, this is a new module which is added in Ansible because there since you use, sometimes you use the same, you want to use the same Ansible playbook for multiple host types, like you want to use the same Ansible playbook for Red Hat, for Ubuntu, etc. So if you want to use that, then package manager changes. So to make our Ansible script uh, more better, we can use package as our package manager. What it does is, as soon as our Ansible playbook tries to connect to the remote server, it collects certain information from the remote server, like what type of server is there, what OS installed, what package manager is there. So that information this package module uses to get what package manager it has to use, internally manages the command which will be fired. Okay. So like in case of your CentOS machines, it's going to use yum, or in case of your Ubuntu machine, it's going to use app. So accordingly, it will make changes. But so taking it offload from your end to do that. Like you don't have to manage on your own that what is the server there, that side. Like if I want to write it for Ubuntu, I have to write it in certain way. If I want to write it for CentOS, then I have to write under the package manager. So this module takes a little bit, gives a little bit relief in case of this. Now when we install Nginx, what we have to do, now we want to start Nginx. So to start Nginx, there are two ways to do that, but I'll tell you the best way is to write a handler. So you will create a folder inside your role. You will create, where you have created tasks, you will create another folder called handlers. Wherein you will write your main.yaml. So everywhere, wherever Ansible starts executing, it starts with main as our Java stuff. So there is a module called service in Ansible, wherein, like, if you want to know more about service module, you can go ahead, check. It has all the examples here. So what it does is it starts this Ansible playbook, this service. In this, it stops the service. If you want to restart, all you have to do is restart. For reloading, you have to use reload. So we are going to write it the same way, just a simple format. Simple. And here we are going to write notify. If you have worked a bit upon coding as well, you will understand that handlers are used in a case wherein you have to uh, like you trigger an event, and there will be a handler. Like, if you talk about in case of your computers also, every event like control C is an event which generates a hand that that event is handled somewhere, right? If you have worked on it, that's how you'll understand this. So this event will be handled by restart nginx. Now what is the event? Event will be change in a package manager. Okay, so if there is a change in this package manager, or if it starts and tries to install nginx, which means there is a change which has happened, which will trigger a handler or notify a handler for you. Now, which handler it will notify, you have to write the name of the handler here, which is restart nginx. Okay, why we have to use a handler, I'll tell you in a minute. So let's try and run this Ansible playbook. It's a simple one. This is not the end. We'll do more, but let's try and run this much. Let me check if Nginx is not already installed on it. It's an Ubuntu machine, so I'll use apt. I'm just clearing out everything. So I've cleared out everything. There's no. So if you see, no file, this Nginx is running. How is it running? But there's no Nginx is not running, and there's no conf file for now. Okay, if you want, we can just clean this up as well. Like, we can do that. So up till now, we have written a role. Let's write our Ansible play as well. So to run this role, we'll need an Ansible play. I'm going to write a play called vagrant.yaml, since it will be executed on my YAML file on my Vagrant host. So I can write vagrant.yaml, nginx.yaml. You can give it any name you want. So since it is logically, it will be executed on Vagrant machine, I have written it that way. Now the next thing that we'll be writing here will be host. If you want, like, in simple sense, I'll do it simple for now, then maybe we can take it forward. Become user is by default root. What is become user? As in, when you are executing your Ansible playbook, it will be executed with the same user with which you have done SSH. Like, you do SSH for a specific user, right? So, okay, I'll tell you. If I do Vagrant SSH default, it's going to get into Vagrant user. So now for it will execute the entire script with the same user with which you have SSH. Now in between, like if you want to do some installation, etc., you might need to use root user, okay, or some other user which has privileges, or the user that you are using for SSH doesn't have enough privileges, so you want to switch the user in between. What will you do? You'll use this become user. So now currently my become user is root, but I have not used, like currently none of my commands that I have written in my role is using root for now. I have just written it for the sake of writing, but it's not using it. So if you want, I can comment it also. It's not okay. Next thing what we're going to write is our tasks. So the task that you want to perform. The task that I want to perform is include role. I'm going to include a specific role whose name is Nginx. Nginx, same. And the task I want to perform from this is install.yaml. There are other ways to do this to achieve the same thing, but I'm trying to tell you the best way for now. Like why I'm telling you to do it in this way, because this will help you, like just by seeing your Ansible playbook, I can understand what all it's doing. So just by seeing this, you can understand it's going to install Nginx for you. Nginx task which is used is install. So which gives you a heads up for now. Let's run this. Beware, it's going to fail, but still we are going to run this, and let me stop it and restart it. I think it had, actually there was one file already with the name Ansible installed on it, so it had some state. Okay, let's not take it from here then. Let's take it here. Okay, so we'll be we'll be running it here. I'm sorry for this. So let me try. I have my SSH config. This is your terminal. So we have not written any inventory file for now. So which is wrong. Let's write our inventory file first before we start doing. So inventory file is one file wherein you specify your host and host groups. So let's write our inventory file, our first inventory file. So let's write our first host file. Why I'm writing Vagrant here? Because in my host segment, I have written Vagrant. So this has to be same here as well. And the host on which I want to execute it, its name is default. This host, if you want to write an IP here, then you need to to actually use this host name here, you need to have this in your SSH config. So I have this default host added in my SSH config, which is why I'm writing default here. If you don't have it in your SSH config, you might consider adding IP. So what you can do is write Vagrant Ansible host. Then you can give your host IP here, and any SSH file, etc., that you want to use, you can add that, or you can add it in SSH add and use that as well. So currently, since it's already added in my SSH config, I'm using that. Ansible playbook -I host file and vagrant.yaml. I don't know, it by default add this slash always. Ansible playbook -I. -I is inventory, so the inventory for which you'll be executing this, and vagrant.yaml. So it started gathering facts. So as I already told, it will gather facts from the user. Now check. What it said is the user with which you try to SSH doesn't have relevant access. Now, if you want to give it root access, or if you want to switch the user, what will you do? If you want, you can write become user. If you don't want, you can just skip that as well. Like, it is not as such required, but you can write become user. But become user, adding just become user will not help. You need to add become yes. When you say become yes, it triggers Ansible, or it asks Ansible to become this root user for entire thing in this Ansible play. So now I don't want that. I just want only specific tasks to be executed with root if we need that access. If not, then keep it with the vagrant user only. So why we want to do it? I'll like we have already discussed that in our previous sections. So since I want to install Nginx using become user, that's why I write become yes here. Writing become yes means now when Ansible will execute this task, it's going to become root user and then execute this task. It's going to switch the user first and then execute this task on the remote machine. So it will go on the remote machine with vagrant user. It will see become yes, which means it will switch to root user and then run the task. Now, if you see, I want you to see this before we start anything. So just see, it was failing. Now we added become yes, which means it became root user and then executed this task. My task is executed now. Now let's see what happened here in this case. It installed Nginx, then it triggered a handler, okay, or it triggered an event which restarted Nginx for us. Now I want to show you one more thing. Let's re-execute this script and see what is the difference between what is the difference. Okay, there is no change in task install Nginx. So change is okay. That means there's no change, which means if you see no handler is executed in this case. So in case if there is a change in Nginx or in this task install Nginx, only then is it going to run your handler for you, else not. Okay. So guys, you saw the change, right? So if you want to ask anything about handlers or why does it happen, you're welcome. Like please let us know if you have any doubts with handlers.
Parul,
Yes.
Abhinoy here. Can you share this directory structure of this Ansible, like how the role is inside and the inside role like Nginx is there, and in that like handler is there and the task is there, like
Yes,
in
yes, we can,
GitHub
we
or
can, uh, in GitHub, yes, I can do that. If you want, I think we can share some files on this Zoom session as well. So I can share a tar here.
or
If you
or
want.
otherwise like in the Gmail ID using which we have joined in that.
Okay, yes. I can send it to everyone who has joined this session. So everyone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
has our ID and joined the session, we can share this entire we will tar this demo for
File.
you. You can
Yes,
go ahead
yes.
and
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Parul.
thank you. So another thing that we'll be doing today here is I just whenever we install Nginx, let's see what happens on the server. I want to go into the server first and check. So I'm on my server. I want to see if my service is running. Some problem with this server or what? Okay, my service is not running, which is nice because that's what I wanted to tell you the next thing. That means now you executed your everything. Yeah, you executed your task well, everything went well, but still Nginx is not running on your host, which means that even if you do everything right, even if your server is doing absolutely right, still there can be a case wherein the state on the server is not exactly the same as same state as you have written on your Ansible playbook. Okay. Now, if you want to identify this, how will we solve this problem? We are going to discuss it in the session just now. Like, let's. So, just to explain you the concept, I had to use it. So, what I'll do is I'll just destroy my machine, this machine. If you want, we can just create another two machines, one for CentOS and one for Ubuntu, and see what's the difference. That also we can do. Okay. Now, next thing that we are going to do here in this group in this class will be to configure this. Now, mostly it never happens that we just want to install a certain tool. We want to configure it also. So today, what we'll be doing is we will be replacing the index.html, which comes with the default Nginx, and want to see how does it perform. So to do that, I have one index.html present with me. What I'll do is I'll just copy that and see what happens. How will we copy it? If you want to keep your artifacts or files somewhere, it's always advisable to keep it with the role. So, like I have an Nginx role. If I have any specific file which I'll be using inside the role, it's always advisable to have a folder called artifacts or files inside your role so that Ansible can itself identify the file or find the file inside the role and do perform further actions. So you don't have to use absolute path or relative path for this. So I'll just add my file, which is there here in the test. So I'll just use this file, which looks something like this. So this looks something like this. Instead of it has some somewhere in between my name as well. So you can identify whether this Nginx file on the remote server has changed or not. So what I'll do, I'll configure. I'll configure as in I will replace the file on the remote machine with my file and then we are going to test that whether that file is replaced or not. Now, how will we test it? We have a unique way to test all of this. Now, we already faced a problem just now wherein the state of the server, Ansible script is executed successfully, but the state. So let's continue with configuring that node. Now, I want to copy index.html. So it's a simple name. This you can do anything, like you can write anything here. Like I can just write src index.html, which is already there in my files folder. So as soon as you maintain this folder structure, it will automatically go and check it in the files folder. So this is already written in Ansible's code, wherein like this is a predefined structure. So if you follow that predefined structure, it can identify the files inside the files folder in your role. So that's okay. The destination where we'll be copying this is www html index.html. I'm going to change the owner of this to root. This will not be executed via root, so we'll have to change the owner. Like I'm manually changing this user and the mode. So the file that will be written on the other side will be written with mode 644, and the and this file will be replaced on the remote machine. So let me try and SSH. Some issues here at this end. So we'll go via terminal here and see if the same file that we have just executed on Ubuntu works the same way on CentOS as well. So currently I have not added this config.yaml, so all it's going to do is just install Nginx for now. So it's gathering facts, it's checking the package. Let's see if it can install this. So it cannot find any package of Nginx for now. So what you wanted to do, or what you will be doing in this case, is you might need to update like if I go on the machine and check, I would need to do this to get it installed. So I need this package also in case of my Red Hat. Okay. So if I want to install this, what I'll do is name install for Red Hat yum name of your package that you want to install, similar to the package that we have given. So you have to write this in redhat.yaml, which will be executed only for CentOS type or Red Hat type machines. Okay. Now how will, like currently I've executed it, how will you identify which type, for which type of host what to do? We will just tell you in this gather facts once. So let's run it. Currently I've just installed it manually. I want to tell you that it works after that. and then we will tell you that how to identify which type of host it is. But since I'm going to just continue it, let's see. Doesn't have any package. We'll continue it for now, and there's some machine related issue here. I think there's some problem with this version specific. There's no Nginx in the package manager itself. So we might need to add Nginx first and then install it. Okay, so in this case, what we'll do is we'll just copy this file at the remote machine and see whether it's already there on that machine or not. Okay, so the next thing that we'll be learning here, like how to install this config, like up till now, we have created this config.yaml, but it will not be executed because we have not added it in our playbook. So how we'll add it in our playbook is similar way. The same thing we are going to write here as well with configure. So what this tells you is we have Nginx, we install Nginx, we have Nginx, and we configure Nginx now. So here we are installing Nginx and here we are configuring it. Cool. Now, if you want to test whether the state of your server is same as the state of what you have written in your playbook, how do you do that? Now, how do you, generally, how do you achieve that? You do that via like manually going into the machine and checking and firing certain commands, etc. So that's what you're going to do, right? Those same commands which you are going to fire on the remote machine, we will write all those commands in this test installation, which when I will run this file, I will be able to identify whether the version or the host, the server host is performing the same way or has all these things installed what I have written in my server playbook. So how will we do that? There is a module called service facts in Ansible, which helps you get the services which are running on in the Ansible which are running on the host or remote machine. So you can do var debug Ansible facts dots. So if you want to know more about service facts, you can, like, this is a good practice to use service facts instead of just checking, like firing service module and getting the status and then checking it in that way. You can use service facts as well. So you can use these service facts. So this service fact tells you what all is already running or what services are there installed on the remote server. Using this variable, you can get and check if your Nginx is installed on that server or not. How will we do that? We'll just write this Ansible facts.services. That's it. So through this, you can get the name of all the services. Now, what you want to do is you want to check whether an Nginx is installed on that machine or not. So if you have written code, whenever we write a code, we do write try and catch. Why we do that? Like in case if our service fails, or in case there is a command which gives us an incorrect response from the module, then what we do is we fail it. So this is the way where you can explicitly fail your Ansible playbook. and test whether your Ansible or your service is running correctly or not. This module is called fail module. You can just go ahead and check it out. This module, like this can be used to either make sure whether all the VARs that you require to run your playbook are there or are passed successfully or not. So you can add a custom message and explicitly fail your Ansible playbook with a proper message, so that the other person can check whether, okay, why this is failed or for what reason is this Ansible playbook failing. So Ansible playbook doesn't kind of give you an exact reason. Like if you are new to Ansible, it doesn't give you an exact information about what failed, why it failed, etc. So those things you can write in this fail module to understand that. Not status, I guess. You get it in the form of status, I guess. Yes. So status is not equals to running, which means that if it sees in Ansible Fag Services Nginx status is not running, then it's going to fail, or it's not running. You can write simple. So if Nginx is not running, then fail your playbook explicitly, like in the case which we just had, that that my Ansible playbook executed successfully, everything is working fine, but since there were some files or folders which are missing in that, which is why my playbook was executing correctly, but the server state was not the same. So to get whether the server state is same as that what you have written, then you have to write this test installation, or you can write these small fail commands if you have not used it like before. Next thing that we'll be using is to check whether the command that we are executing, it has, like, if I have just replaced it with my test.yaml, test.html. So what what I have done in my test.html is I have written my name somewhere, like here. So if this test.html or the response from Nginx server has Parul word inside it, most probably Parul and Nginx word inside it, which probably means that it is coming from this Nginx. Okay, now how will I test this? Usually, how will you test it? You will fire a curl command and test it whether the incoming response from the remote server or the response that is coming via HTML from that server is same. So what we'll do is we'll test service response here. Now we'll get service response for the first thing. So we'll use a module called URI, which is used to fire and get the response. Fire a URL and get a response. You also have other modules like get URL, etc., etc. You can use all of them, whichever you want. Like this is something which I am using for now. So what I'll do is I'll just like if I have to test whether Nginx is installed on that machine or not, what I'll do is I'll do HTTP and curl and HTTP and localhost to check whether Nginx is installed on that machine or not. I think if I show you URI Ansible, so there are certain things that you should obviously do when you are doing this. Is you need to return some content. So whatever content that URL is generating, you need to get that content and search something out from that content. Also, you might need to add certain timeout to it. Like if in case it's not working, then there should be some specific timeout. So currently that timeout is 30 seconds, which is by default. You can decrease this timeout to 10 seconds or something. So in case my Nginx server is not responding in less than 20 minutes or 10 seconds or less than 30 seconds, then it's going to anyways fail. Okay, so this is going to just wait for that server to respond for that 30 seconds. Okay, so what we'll be using is this return content. Okay, whatever content is returned, we'll register it somewhere in a variable. So the response that we'll be getting from this module, we'll register it or save it in a variable called response. Now we have to fail it with a proper message stating that Nginx not configured properly. When will we do it? We'll do it when response dot content, when parul not in response dot content. Okay, so if parul word, it cannot find parul word in response dot content, is going to fail it completely. Or you can write any word to just test what HTML, like what HTML you are pushing and what is already there is not the is the same. So you can also use stat, file stat, etc. But it's good to use this. You like for now, for this use case, you can continue using this for now. Okay, now how will you test it? If you want to test it, you have to use include role, name again Nginx, tasks from is test installation. It is always advisable to do this test installation because it kind of does unit testing for you, or kind of does this testing specific for you. So if you are writing a playbook for a machine which has more than one components, so it is doing this installation for 100 machines, and on all the 100 machines done, but for some specific machine it failed because of a pre-existing state on that machine. So to avoid all of that confusion, you can go ahead and write this test installation so that when you are running this exact playbook, you will be assured that what state is there on your machine is same as that what you have written. We can't get it dynamically, as in what exactly? Like what we can't get dynamically? Okay. I'm like error message dynamically, as in what? Like the command failed, like as in any of this command fails and it gives us an error like this, what we got. Something like this, right? Okay. Yes, you can get this, but if you just remember, in this session only we had an Ubuntu machine or a Vagrant Ubuntu machine, which uh, wherein entire Ansible playbook was executed successfully, but still it did not work perfect. Why? Because there was some state on the server that it restarted. Like uh, Ansible ran a restart command. It gave some error and it failed. Ansible doesn't know that the server came up or not. Like example, you are installing MongoDB and Ansible fired a command restart, or you go on that machine and fire a command restart. Now, until and unless that server comes up, will the restart command wait for that server to come up? No, it just It just fired that command, and in the background there is some processing happening. It's doing some, like if it's in clustered mode, it's going to get into the cluster, etc. Vote, and all of that will go in the background, because all the commands, all the services that we generally create go into the doesn't work in foreground, they go into background, and then the server can fail later on in stage. Like there can be a case wherein your server came up but it still failed, okay, after 2 3 minutes or after 1 second or something. So that case can be tackled in this situation where you are explicitly testing it out. Cool. So okay, one more thing, that when you are configuring this and now you have copied this HTML on your remote machine. Now what will you need? You will need to restart this. What will you write here? Notify. So simple thing is notify Nginx is what you're going to write here. Only then it is going to restart, else it's not going to restart. Okay, if there is a change in this command. Also, we are thankful to everyone to participate in the discussion forum that we have just started. If you guys if you guys face any issues in your companies, you can come up and we can put it in our discussion forum as well, so that you can get we all can discuss about the pros and cons of the solution and come up with a proper and foolproof solution for a problem, thinking in all the perspective. Like if we are thinking, like we are thinking about a problem, sometimes we miss upon other aspects of SRE. But when we are collectively thinking about a problem, we'll think about a problem in like thinking about every SRE aspect for that solution.